YouTube. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you for joining me for another edition, a late night edition. Talk how you like with the Truth Conductor. I was like, man, something has been pulling me toward this night crowd. And, you know, I've had relative success with, earlier crowds, but you remember when the disciples were fishing and Jesus came along and they say, Jesus, man, we've been fishing all night long and we ain't caught nothing. And Jesus said, cast your nets on the other side of the boat. And sometimes, because we get so caught up in life and what we're going through or what we are experiencing, that we don't think, man, throw your net on the other side of the boat. You see what you see the outcome of what you've gotten on this side of the boat. The other side of the boat to you could be a different career. Or or maybe you need to switch times. As far as how, when are you most productive? You got some people, this time of night, man, is when they thrive. They thrive in this. What's going on, man? How you doing, Seth? Hey, long time, man. How you been? But no, you seriously, you got some people, that are night people. You have some people who are morning people. And you had to decide, which one are you? Okay, what's going on, Nicole? How you doing? So, I used to have this buddy, God rest his soul, C. Miles, and he was a talk show host, and he had this he was show called Talk How You Like Underground Posse. And and this is just maybe a hat tip to him. David, Brian. Normally, I would, under any other circumstances, block you, because you just set this account up. But since what's going on? Since it's Talk How You Like, this is the first time that I'm pursuing this idea. I'll let you up in here. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna lock nobody. Since it's Talk How You Like, whatever you want to talk about, come on, And if it's nonsense, then you'll get your own demise. But if you wanna talk sensible, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's agree that we can disagree without going at each other's throats. We just don't see eye to eye. But we still can communicate. We still can talk. So whatever you want to talk about, talk how you like. No filters. No, ain't gonna be no filters. Uh, I just ask you to be considerate. With the language that you use. Be considerate. But we can talk about whatever you want. And see, and this is where we need to start being able to talk to each other, and stop talking at each other. So somebody has to, get the ball rolling. So, okay, talk how you like. Let's talk to each other without all the, the Instagram and all that other bullshit. Let's just have some honest conversations. And maybe we can clear up a lot of the myths that you might be believing, or some kind of misunderstanding. maybe that's what, this it's got to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere. So let me do it. Since ain't nobody else doing it. You can always say, well, somebody should be, somebody should do this or somebody should do that. Well, the idea just came to you. Why don't you do it? But in order to think like that, then you can't be a person that's easily afraid. If you are easily spooked, Seth Save, what's been on his mind a lot has been the Middle East conflict. Well, Seth, unfortunately, when most people look at situations like this, they look at the moment. They look short term instead of long term. And when you look at this situation with Iran, you're going to have to look long term. What's the meaning behind this? See, when the country is in war, the Constitution is suspended. Ain't no elections. You stuck with the people that are in office until they lift whatever, until they're satisfied they've gotten what they want. But see, here's what a lot of people aren't realizing and don't want to accept. Snake in the grass is that J.D. Vance. That's the snake in the grass. Right there. J.D. Vance. Okay? All right? Don't turn your back on this dude. All right? I'm telling you, that's the snake in the grass. Right there. J.D. Vance is a snake in the grass. And he got his own agenda. He has his own agenda. But because he is so deceptive and sneaky, he has to be what somebody else wants him to be. But if you listen to him closely, the true him will come out. You'll catch a glimpse of the true him. He's a snake. He's a snake. I mean that's just it. Uh yeah, he done changed his name a couple times. Yeah, he has. Yeah, he has. Yeah, he has. You know, he didn't change his name. Yeah, he's a snake, man. That man is a snake. He talked about Trump like a dog and then turned around and kissed his ass. That's a snake, man. I mean, that's a snake. That's a snake. You know, and you can fall for the flim flam if you want to. But see, Netanyahu knows the minute that he becomes a civilian again, him and his wife going to jail. He knows that. Him and his wife going to jail. Okay? So he got to fight to stay in office. And since Netanyahu is, then figured out how he can stay in office, you don't think Trump then thought to say, oh, wait a minute. If I start a war, I ain't gotta leave. Supreme Court then already said, then then already said he got immunity. He ain't got to leave. He can kill his competition. His whoever the president of the United States can actually kill the person that's running against them, and they got immunity. And you don't want to speak to each other. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So I'm just saying, hey man, we and that's what I'm looking for. All right, yeah, noise reduction. Yeah, now I ain't got to be distracted by all that stuff that I'm hearing, outside my door. But uh well, Seth, Jesus Christ is a lifestyle. What's going on, B? Jesus Christ is a lifestyle. A lot of people get hung up on the man, but they can't walk the walk. That's a lifestyle when you're talking about Jesus. Okay? And but most folk want to talk Jesus, and they scared to speak to each other and believe in the same Jesus. What you gonna do with them? What you gonna do with them, Seth? The ones that they're scared to talk to each other, and they believe in the same Jesus and scared to speak to each other. What you gonna do with them? And this where we got to start, man, because see, nobody wants to separate the good from the bad. Everybody just want to lump people together. All immigrants are criminals. All black folk are lazy. All white people are racist. It's good and bad in everybody. How come we can't separate the good from the bad? And even more important, how come the good can't recognize other good? See, we not asking these questions, and we need to. How come good people can't recognize other good people? Because there's so much deception, man. People, see, I've been at this stop hating each other because you disagree for 5 years. Because it came, they're following a different lifestyle that's not God centered. Better to look for the good in others, but not necessary to invite them. Um, well, see, this is my see, and thank you for proving my point, sir. What are you afraid of? See, they got us afraid of each other. What are you afraid of? I mean, think about it. What are you afraid of? And most of the time, backstabbing. Well. Okay, all right. So maybe it's you that talk too much. What's going on, Jared? Maybe it's you talking too much. That's giving people information to stab you in the back. But you don't consider that. You don't look at that. You looking at what other people are doing. You share too much. Yeah. To your own detriment. And you mad at the people because you gave them the ammunition to use against you. And you mad at them. You ain't upset with yourself. You ain't upset with yourself, but you mad at the people because they used the ammunition that you gave them. Think about that, man. Oh, you better than that. You better than that. And that's a lot of people's problem. They give people ammunition, and when the people use the ammunition, then they got the nerve to be mad. Like they're victim. And you gave the people the ammunition to use against you. And you ain't got no reason to be mad. If you're gonna be mad at yourself. You're gonna have to do it a different way. If you want a different result, it's just that simple. But anyway, um, whatever you want to talk about. But I don't. I think this war thing is more political than it is. Um, yeah, there's a lot of division among Christians. It is, and they believe in the same Jesus and scared to speak to each other. Don't trust each other. See, was because we're moving so fast to this artificial intelligence. A lot of people don't know what's real and what's fake. A lot of people are fake themselves. I was in the grocery store today, and I saw these two guys who were dressed up as Muslims, but There's sleeper cells everywhere. There's sleeper cells everywhere. But see, here's the difference in America. See, the difference in America is, you know, they have certain materials that are red flag, that are flag. So when somebody go in and start purchasing a large amount of these materials, it's automatically flagged. See, they tell on themselves. That's how the government know in other countries, you can go and buy dynamite and don't, anonymously. But you can't buy no dynamite in America anonymously. And whatever material you need to make one, they monitor. They know. It's very difficult to for you to be able to do something that don't nobody know. It's very difficult. Think about it. It's very difficult for you to do something that somebody don't know that you're doing it. And that's real talk. Okay? So but but seeing, and this is what I be trying to tell people, and they don't want to believe it, but it says here in Psalm 91, verse 7, 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. So even if it is some sleeper cells in the country, they ain't gonna be in business around you. That's when you live in a righteous lifestyle. I'm not talking about talking righteous. I'm talking about living it. And see, and this is the time that we're going into now, that the people who have sacrificed and lived a righteous life are now going to be the examples. See, they're going to be what people want to follow, because what they've been following ain't working no more. Because things have changed. And I don't know if you notice it, but time is speeding up. Look, 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 we at the end of June already. And the year just got here. And we in a brand new, we half of the year is gone. It's gone already. It's gone. And look how fast it went. And you still holding on to the past. Won't let go. And your life is just going speeding right by you. And you still holding on to some stuff that ain't gonna do no, that you can't even change. But you don't want to let it go. Because if you do, now you're gonna have to become accountable. And what most folk avoid is accountability. I know what I'm saying is true. I know what I'm saying is true. So anyway, like I said, man, we this is talk how you like. So whatever you got on your mind, spit it out. Let's talk about it. Now, if you come up in here with some junk, you're gone. You come up in here with some crap, you're out of here. But you know, everything's on the table. Relax and make some Ubo. What is that, Freddie? What is that? What is that? All of the people like me that ain't up on their Spanish. Did you see the story about the car? Yeah, I saw that, man. I saw that. That's um you know that's a waste of time. If you're gonna come in DC and do something stupid, see you just messing up your life. Because once they get you in jail, you might not get out no time soon and end up losing everything because you in jail. See, that's the crazy part. Oh, enchiladas. Okay, okay, all right. You let me show you the impact that. Hey, Steve, thank you for that $10, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Yeah, it came through. Thank you for that $10, brother. Um, Steve, one of the impacts uh these immigration raids are having on there were food trucks, there were people that fed those folk that was dependent on that income. Now that income is gone. Okay. Look at all of the people that were depending on the financial support of the people that are now being deported. You think that ain't gonna have an impact? You think? And see, and this goes to show. See, if Spanish people really was on their game, they know they got America by the balls. Spanish people, the Spanish community got America by the balls and don't even realize it because the majority of the service industry is Hispanic. And all they got to do is pool their money together so that they can share among each other and go on strike, and America would drop to its knees. That's real talk. That's real talk. And see, all this marching and burning and looting is a waste of time. If you really want to make an impact, stay your ass at home, start cooking instead of being out in the restaurant. See, you go out now, everybody's out eating and dining, but what if you stop eating out? Do you think them business owners would start complaining? Cause now they going out of business cause your lazy ass ain't up in there spending money. See, that's what we got to do. But see, Americans are lazy. They don't want to sacrifice anything. They want to have their cake and eat it too. That's just the bottom line. See, a lot of people missing that. See, this is some real talk here. And a lot of people are missing this. And they should be hearing this. But they will. They will. that's what we got to do as a people. It's the people with the power. It's the people. And the people, because they so divided, they don't really realize how powerful they are if they would just come together. That's the problem. That's the problem right there in a nutshell. So they keep us not trusting each other, scared of each other. So we stay divided. Because a divided house can't stand. Let me say that again. A divided house, a divided country. See, we're destroying us ourselves from within. Ain't no enemy got to come into America right now. We're destroying ourselves. Because you got people trying to destroy the other half of the ship like theirs is safe. And the rich got all the lifeboats. And we fighting each other on a defective ship instead of trying to figure out how to save the ship. We're going to perish each other. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. And we know it. See, that's one thing I can say, that this situation in Minnesota, where those politicians were killed in their homes. That goes to show you, uh don't make fun of nobody now. You mess around and you be blowing up just like him. Don't make fun of him. Don't make fun of him. No, leave my boy alone. He all right. He needs just a little discipline, push back from the table. He'll be okay. He'll be just fine. Um, but we gonna have to get involved if things are gonna change. We're gonna have to get involved. Playing it safe on the sidelines ain't gonna work no more. It's not gonna work because things are getting worse. They ain't getting no better. They're getting worse. And that means everybody is at risk. Everybody is at risk. You see? So, yeah, yeah. But that's like I said, man. I had that idea. Let me come in and do some late night talk how you like. This is one thing that YouTube should put on, is to be able to that talk button where you can talk to each other live. That's the only thing missing off this. Only thing missing off this app. You can't talk to each other. Yeah. Man, you can't, if you could talk to each other, you had a talk button on here. This would be lit. It would. It would be lit. And you would think they have been unthought of that by now. But they haven't. Because it ain't been no demand for no talk button. That's why what's that, the one that X had that went out of business. I should know it because I was hot on it, boy. Um, but it had a talk button on it, and that's what YouTube need. Periscope. Yeah, Periscope. Yeah, see, YouTube needs something like Periscope. It was oh, it's hot, man. It's hot. I don't be out like I still be in uniform, but I just ditched the tie. It's hot. Monday tomorrow, I think it's supposed to be 98 or 99. Let me see. It's hot. It is hot. Um, it's gonna be 99 tomorrow, 97 Wednesday, 94 Thursday, 88 Friday, 91, and then it breaks into the 80s next week. But we got this heat on, man. I mean, it's hot. Even at the White House, I think that ambulance came maybe two, three times for people that was affected by the heat, you know. And they just got overwhelmed. But I'd be sitting there under my umbrella, boy. I gotta charge my grandson gave me a fan to put around my neck. I gotta charge that up. I gotta find it and charge it up. So tomorrow I have my fan. I put it inside my collar, so it'll keep everything, keep the neck cool. A lot of people wear it on the outside, but I put it on the inside of my collar. So all of the air is just circulating in the collar, keeping me cool. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for tomorrow. But I'll be out in it. I'll be out there. Good Lord, let me live. You never see. This is the thing that a lot of people never take under consideration. Uh, yeah, they're making a killing. Yeah, they are making a killing and fighting each other. I said, man, it's enough for all of y'all. All this fighting and fussing you got going on, man, cut that crap out. Cut it out. Going on, be creative about how you gonna sell your stuff instead of trying to fight each other and be greedy. See, because when I was bending, boy, it didn't matter who sat up next to me, because I'm gonna get mine. I'm getting mine. So and I mean I'm getting mine. So you welcome to the crumbs, because that's all that's gonna be left is crumbs. So you welcome to the crumbs, but I'm getting mine. I'll make sure I'm gonna sell out. Make sure that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sell out. So I was when I got on the subway this morning, a guy was walking around with a box of chips, two or three boxes of chips that he was I said, man, why don't you just get you a wagon and you can pull yourself, or get you a cart, so you can walk around with your stuff. Your hands are free. This man, oh gee, that's a good idea. I said, I know it is. I know it's a good idea because when you listen, let me tell you something. If I wasn't doing what I was doing now with this message, man, I would set up a charging stations on the mall. 15 minutes for $5, and give me some chargers like these, and Android or iPhone. I charge you 15 minutes, $5. $5 for 15 minutes. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Exactly what I would do. And test the limits too. You know, like for people eating, man, sit on the corner, put your sign, battery charge for phones, 15 minutes for $5. How many minutes you need? You want 30? Give me $10. I'll be right here when you come out from eating. That's how you gotta think, man. And see now, now, uh it's a lot of folk phones with low battery, man. A lot of folk walking around with low battery phones and don't know and ain't got nowhere to charge them. Ain't got no place to charge them at all. And that's exactly what I would do. And I would concentrate around where people are eating outside. That's where I would concentrate. Wherever people eating outside, that's what I hit up. I post up right there. And so if you're doing $5 for 15 minutes, that's $20 an hour just for one charge. If you had like I can put three different charges on this. That $20 now goes up to $60 an hour if I'm charging all three at the same time. $60 an hour. Now, how many hours just for this one? Let's say I'm out for 5 hours. That's $600. No, that's $300. How much is that? Five times. Yeah, it's 300. $300. And just for this one. Well, what if I had three of them? Yeah. And if I set up across the city. And see, and this I'm saying this to say, you know, as crazy as things are going now, you're not going to be able to depend on the government. In some cases, um, you're not going to be able to depend on the private sector either. So you're going to have to start being creative about how you get your money. Now, see, social media has made the need for an education obsolete. Social media. That's how powerful it is. It has made the need for an education obsolete. You could make more money on social media degrading yourself than you can get an education. True facts. OnlyFans got girls that are high school dropouts making more money than women with PhDs on OnlyFans busting it open. That's the truth. That's the truth. And you're wondering why these young kids are the way they are. See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? See? He gonna be around for a minute. He gonna be around for a minute. That's why we're going to war with Iran. Because this is out. This is out. Because he can suspend the Constitution. So you stuck with, if you ain't having no elections, you stuck with whoever's in office. That's how that's gonna work. But I'm telling y'all, Snake is JD Vance. That's Snake. You can do what you can say what you want. That's the Snake. JD Vance is the Snake. That's the Snake. Yeah. All right. Oh man, I'm gonna stay an hour. I'm gonna stay an hour. You start a new job tomorrow, feeling thankful. Trump really sold out. What does that mean? Trump really sold out. Well, see, Seth, here's the problem with Israel. Most Christians in America equate the Israel to the Bible in the Bible as the Israel of today, and those are two different places, two different people. And that's why we're being exploited. Because when you sit down and think about it, we subsidize damn near everything for Israel. But what are we getting in return? What have we ever gotten from of value from Israel for our loyalty? Nothing. We've gotten absolutely nothing from Israel. And they're untouchable in America. Untouchable. Why is that? So that is the problem right there. That's the problem. Too many people equating the Israel in the Bible to the Israel of today. And they're two totally different places and things and people. They're different. They're not the same. And you're being exploited and used. Just that simple. Well, um, see, this thing called politics is a hell of a beast. And it's a game of lies. And it's who's the better liar. If you're going to get into the game of politics, you're going to have to be a good liar. It's just that simple. You got to be a good liar. And and lying good is making promises that you know you're not going to be able to keep. but you make them anyway, and you lie through your teeth that you're gonna keep them, and you don't. You see, so I don't care who you are. If you're a politician, you're a good liar. It's just that simple. Okay. Well, see, unfortunately, in America, money rules politics. And if we wanted to really rein in the politicians that are in America, all we got to do is start enforcing term limits. See, we got too many positions that have lifetime appointments. If look at the people up in Congress. Look how old Nancy Pelosi was. John Lewis died in office. Look at all of my from Kentucky, the one Mitch McConnell. Joe Biden that spent 50 years in politics. And you gonna tell me 50 years of your life ain't enough and you want more? Man, get out of here. You didn't get 50 years you've been in the game. And you talking about I want 4 more years. For what? For what? 50 years. You see, if we all we got to do is just adopt term limits. Because they all go in there broke and come out rich. That's why they be trying to get up in there for that insider trading. That's all about. That's the only way they can come out rich. It's insider trading. And we don't yeah, they come out. And see, and we ain't, and they won't pass a rule that you can't buy or sell stock. They won't pass that rule, but they worried about everything else. See, but again, it's the people, man, that need to come together. It's the people. People ever come together, man, this shit show will get in line. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Get in line. Yes, they would. So anyway, let me see how much time I got. Oh, I got 6 more minutes. I'm going. Yeah, I'm just trying. I'm just trying this to see. You know, the response. That's all. And nothing beats a failure but a try. That's all. That's the only thing that's gonna be failure when you keep trying. And the secret to keep trying is not to take it personal. Don't take the defeat. Don't take the adversity personal. It ain't personal, man. It's just a process that you're going through, and it's just making you a better person. That's all it's doing. Why are you upset? Because that adversity is making you a better person, and you mad. And unfortunately, that's the only way you gonna learn is through your mistakes. You don't learn from doing it right. You learn from doing it wrong. And that's where your wisdom come in, when you do it wrong and you catch yourself. Nah, I can't do that, man. Remember the last time I tried that, this happened. But, a lot of y'all don't want to listen either. So um you can't blame everybody. Some of it is your hard head, and that's the truth. Okay? That's the truth. All right. Um, I just thought, man, I come in here and, late night, see what's going on, see if there's any more traffic, any more, um, but I'll get the particulars of this night. Who knows? Maybe I'll do it again, you know? Okay. See, what is this about people lose their minds and tend to think they're next to Jesus? I had a neighbor suffering CTS parallel telling me he was God or Jesus, right hand man. Well, see, Seth, what you got to realize is um, when people start talking in that fashion or form, um, folk automatically categorize them. Okay, people already automatically put them in a category, and usually they aren't taken seriously. Okay, they're looked at with more suspicion than anything else. And when you find people um, talking like that, just look at their lifestyle. Look at how they living. Are they living like Jesus? Or are they living like the devil who's pumping most of that stuff in their head? Got to know the difference, man. And you can, and in a lot of this stuff, you can feel it. You don't have to. You can feel it. This ain't right. This don't even feel right. You know. Nah, this ain't right. This don't even feel right. So don't discredit or discount your intuition. Don't do that, man. Because you might be dead on. Might be dead on. And don't even realize it, but don't count yourself out though. I can tell you that. Don't count yourself out. Give yourself a chance. Regardless of what people say, give yourself a chance. You give yourself a chance. And when you give yourself a chance, then you believe in you. See, you ain't begging nobody to believe in you. You believe in yourself. And when you believe in yourself, come hell, high water, no water at all. You still gonna find a way. You know, see when you believe in yourself, man, and you're always adapting and adjusting. You're not stuck. You know, you're not reactive. You're proactive. And if you want to stay away from the the depression, well, well, that's not always the case. That's not always the case. That's not always the case. You don't always see, in others what you see in yourself. Because a lot of people don't even know themselves. So, so that they don't know jack about who they are. So no, I can't agree with that one. Can't agree with that one. Yeah. Too many people out here lost, Seth. Too many of them lost, man. A lot of them lost. They lost. They just lost. And no, I mean, they just lost. So, and you can only pray for them. That's all you can do. Pray for them, man. If God can't do nothing with them, ain't no help. Okay, ain't no help. All right, y'all. I'll just give you an hour, man. So, all my replay viewers, thank you so very much. All my viewers, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Steve, man, thank you for that $10, man. Appreciate you, brother. Okay, talk to you later.